There's no time for wasting. The time is now to stand up strong. The time is now to live this song. We're banking on the children. We're banking on love. We're banking on the future now. We're stand with us. Last one. Waking up the power inside. We're gonna wake up. Waking up the people to rise. We got wise and took a flash digest from them on third act stage. Climate clue, we're on the verge of bringing down big oil. Soon all people will come, taste their money and they will run off to the banks for the rest of the sun and win there's so much more. Hey, soon all people will come, taste their money and they will run off to the banks for the rest of the sun and win there's so much more. Hey! Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. You know when it's work, it's work, whatever it takes to save the earth. We're making on the water. We're making on the land. We're making on the future. Show us where you stand. We're making on the children. We're making on love. We're making on the future. So let's stand with us. People power! People power! People power!
Wow, that was really great, Carol. Thank you. And I want you all to know that this video is on our Facebook page. So tell your friends about it. You know, we're working hard on outreach and social media is an important part of it. We recently sent out a questionnaire about your social media use. Please take a few minutes to respond. Now, Lori, who is, I think her camera is not working, but she's going to introduce our special guest from Third Act Central. Lori?
My camera is finally working, and so is Martin's. It was very mysterious. I have a great pleasure to introduce Anna Goldstein, and Anna is with Third Act Central. And Anna, I'm sorry I didn't figure out what your position is, so you'll have to introduce yourself that way. But I just know her from lots of virtual meetings, and she's brilliant and will be able to answer a lot of our questions about what we're doing these days. So Anna, take it away.
Thank you, Lori. Lori and I know each other from way back in the day, and I'll do a tiny bit of context for that is that I worked for a decade at 350.org, which is how I met Lori and how I met Bill McKibben and how I met a lot of folks. So I'm calling in from Ohlone Land. I'm down in Berkeley, so-called Berkeley, California. And I had seen Carol's video earlier because it was shared with our staff by Deborah Moore. And so I didn't know we were get to see it again tonight, but I wanted to just lift up how awesome it is that you are creating that content. And I got to meet some of the people in the video along the way at our art build down here. And so seeing Ray and Goli like leading songs and Alicia and everything was just like, my heart is very full. So I am on the Third Act Advisory Council. That's how I initially came into the Third Act community. And since, you know, the end of last year, I've been the lead on the 32123 National Day of Action. So I know I don't have very much time, so I definitely want to leave time to answer questions. I've been working with some people in your SAC group very closely. We have a weekly liaisons call. We have various interactions with people via the facilitators forum and the banking groups and all these things. So I've had some contact with some people. I'm very pleased to meet the rest of you. And I want to tell you a little bit about what's going on with the Day of Action, and then I just want to leave some time for questions. I just looked at our map and our spreadsheet from the map, and there are over 70 actions on the map right now. And as of tomorrow, we're 1 month out. So 1 month feels both very close and also quite spacious. And I'm very pleased with where we are 1 month out. I feel that we have beautiful actions being built. We have people learning songs and sharing song leadership. We have people making art, and people are going to receive art through Third Act that they can use or paint or build on. So I wanted to assure you, I think is the right word. I want to assure you that all of your hard work has been so valuable, and that you are so on point and on track. And I want to find that sweet spot between being able to really embody the urgency and the importance of the work that we do, and also be able to like take care of ourselves and breathe and sleep at night and not work every day. And I think finding a balance of that makes this work sustainable. We don't all have to work all the time, but with many hands. I liked hearing that you're doing lots of recruitment, and many hands makes the work light. So I think I want to say that, in case you're not so aware of the narrative arc, I want to highlight that the Day of Action is sort of an exclamation point in this sort of lifelong arc, right, of work or justice that we all do. And we hope that it will be a day that gets a little bit of, fairy dust, a little bit of media attention, a little bit of folks coming in, new folks joining your Third Act Sacramento group, joining all the other groups around the country. And it's like the work this is a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. So I also want to invite you to pace yourself. And what comes after the Day of Action is all sorts of other fun stuff that you can be a part of, some of which is about climate work and the pivot of the work from being more of an individual thing of like, I'm taking my money out of Wells Fargo, I'm going to cut out my credit card, I'm taking this action, I took the pledge, to something that's more of an institutional framework. The next evolution of this work at Third Act, and I think Sacramento is already doing this. Sacramento is ahead of the curve. You are already talking to the city about where is the city's money. You're already talking to institutions. So that's partially where the evolution of the work is going to go. There's also work going to be happening around working with utilities, and there's all sorts of aspects of work around democracy that will be alive in the next year, because I think in 2024 things are going to be a little crazy around democracy. So we're going to try and build up lots of healthy, beautiful campaigning before such time. I know I don't have very much time. Do you want to take a stack on questions, Luke? Do you want to ask people if they have any questions in the chat, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, let's, if you have a question, put it in the chat, and Lori, can you check on that and ask the question? If anybody has any. Anna, you know, one of the things that we've got going here is a senior to senior program, and you're talking about democracy in the next election cycle, and that's going to be really important. So we're really going to try to gear up. We're doing a lot of banking stuff, but we need volunteers to get out and sign up these high school students to vote.
Yeah, I mean, I think that part of what I'm excited about at Third Act is that there's so much creativity in our community, and the Third Act working groups are able to tap into these national campaigns that we have, but also talk about what is alive in Sacramento, or what is alive in Cleveland, or what is alive wherever they are, and be able to work on things that are specific to their groups and their interests. So sort of mix and match.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you weren't finished. Go ahead.
Finish.
Okay, we have a question from Greg. Do the 70 actions on the map include allied group actions? For example, San Francisco Bay Extinction Rebellion is planning some actions that day.
Yes, the 70 actions also include allied actions. And I think that's actually going to grow quite a bit now, because we are starting to have some of our partners. We have, I think, well over 40 partners. You can see them on the website. Partners are starting to blast their lists. So people in other organizations are starting to hear about the Day of Action. Hopefully, some of those people will look on the map and say, oh, I live in Sacramento, I'm going to join this action that's already on the map. Some of those people will say, oh, I live somewhere where there's nothing going on, I'm going to put an action on the map. So some of those are actually institutional, like some of our friends at Hip Hop Caucus are going to host an action in Texas, and that'll be an institutional framework. Sometimes it's individuals.
So we have another question. Does Third Act Central have a plan for TV, radio PSAs nationally or locally?
Yeah, we do have a media and PR plan that's going to be rolling out both nationally and locally. I heard you say that Carol is the comms person. So Carol, you'll be working hopefully with comms people from all the Third Act working groups, and there'll be different trainings. There are trainings that have already started around social media. There'll be a toolkit, a media PR toolkit with press releases and sample PSAs and so forth. We will not be placing any local PSAs. So Marianne, if you would like to make a list of what are the Sacramento radio stations that would host a PSA, then I've already started to hear them here in the Bay, and I have no idea who put them up. Some Bay Area third actor must have called Calex and put something up, but they're starting to happen. Nationally, I don't know if we have a budget for TV or radio, and the PSA idea is interesting. I do not know, to be honest, if that is forthcoming, but we definitely want to encourage all the local working groups to start to do that locally, and we will have template soon for that, or do your own.
Well, thank you, Anna. It's wonderful that we can get the support of having one of the leaders from our central organization to come to one of our little local meetings. So thanks a bunch.
Yeah, anytime. You know, there's so much going on. It's a little bit of a fire hose of information. I would encourage you, like, your Sacramento group is doing so many different awesome things. You can share with each other the different opportunities that we offer. Training on, there's an arts training on the 25th that's coming up. There's the part 2 of the NVDA training that's coming up on the 2nd. And if you didn't attend part 1, you can watch a recording of it. So so there's a lot going on, and just parse it out for yourself, find the piece that really resonates for you. And we're so grateful for all of your great work, and keep those calls and letters coming. You know, we're all in this together. So
yeah, we will. And thanks so much. We're going to move along on our agenda now. Our banking teams have been working hard to get ready for the National Day of Action to Stop the Dirty Banks on 3/21/23, Palindrome Day. They're going to present reports on their plans for the big day and how everyone can help out. And to begin with, we have Ruth Holton Hodson, who's going to tell us about the research they've done on where and how to move your money. They're making it easy to understand how to get your money out of the dirty banks: Wells Fargo, Citi, Chase, and Bank of America. Ruth? Oh, you're muted, Ruth.
Important. All right. Thank you, Ruth. And first, as Anna said, this takes many hands. And so I want to give a big thank you and shout out to our committee members, Pat Ferris, Maureen Stubblefield, Yvette DiCarlo, Doug Thompson, and Mary Ann Fetterman, who have just been a joy to work with and have worked really hard to get us where we are today. So our goals for this group was to provide, as Luke said, research on banks and credit unions in the Sacramento region. 2 members who will be switching from the Big Four. We hope by pointing everyone in the right direction, it will not only encourage folks to switch, but it will make the task feel less daunting. So we divided our work into 2 buckets. The first bucket was identifying the banks and credit unions in the region that would make for good alternatives to the Big Four. And let me preface everything I say with, we are not recommending any one bank. That is for you to choose. We simply are providing the information about what banks and credit unions are out there, and then for you to make your own decision. And then we sort of took it a step further, and for those who are switching, and we'd love to encourage you, if you are switching, to then go completely fossil free. And so we've done research on the banks, as you'll see, and you may have already seen the preview of the, Lori sent out a link in her notes, to encourage you to explore the fossil free option. So with that, let me share my screen. And okay, I get a little note, Luke, that says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Lori, can you help with that?
Or Laura, you can share your screen with the link and I can just walk through it that way.
You should be able to do it now.
Okay. Voila. Okay, here's, let me pull this up. All right. So Lori sent out a link to everybody to this document, Climate Friendly Finance Options for Sacramentans. Before I take you on a brief tour, I want to really acknowledge the great foundational work that was done by San Francisco Third Act that sent us the template and the general information. So what we've done, as you can see, is put together, I think, what I hope you'll find to be a very useful fact sheet. And we put it together in a way that we wanted you to be able to share with friends and families, your social networks, and on social media. So it begins with a very brief statement of the problem and a statement of the solution. As for our research, and I will mention that we are still doing a fair amount of research, but we've come a long way, and so we feel that this is a really good start, but there will be more that we will be adding. And the link that you have to this document will get you to the most updated version. So you don't always have to worry about, oh, is this the latest version? You will always, that link will always give you the latest version. So we've identified over 50 local area banks and credit unions for your review. You simply click on the link, then you bring down the link and up it comes. And so here you can see, this is what the link will take you to. It's a whole list of banks and credit unions. We have their website, we have their phone numbers and their branch locations. The first list is the banks, then come the credit unions, and you can just go down and peruse those at your leisure. Oop. So let me get out of that document and go back to trying to, I can't get back into my folder. So going back to the document, if I can get back to the document, which I'm not sure how to do, my apologies. If anyone has a suggestion, I would appreciate it.
Bruce, can you click up on the tab that says climate friendly finance? Is that where you're wanting
Well,
to
that's
go?
what I'm trying to find, that tab. Unfortunately, boy.
Maybe stop screen sharing and then share.
Stop sharing, maybe.
Maybe stop sharing. Just to make this move along faster, Lori, can you just put up the link? Okay, now I'm on, but I don't have the screen. My apologies, folks. Okay, by screen share, I'll get back to, I'm just looking for the document, which I had up here.
Did Goalie just put the link in the chat?
I'm sorry, that's for later. I was just,
Oh,
I pressed enter when I shouldn't have, so ignore that one.
Okay, Laura put the link in the chat. Let me, and then the document will come up. I apologize.
Okay, I'll find it.
I didn't have it here, so I'll just put the link in the chat. I have it behind one of these screens and I can't seem to get to it. Anyway, so you see that we've got these 50 plus banks. All the banks listed have the basic checking and savings accounts, bill paying, ATMs, and more. We'd love to hear from you if you have suggestions of what you might like to see in that. The next link, which doggone it, this is not happening. My apologies, I had it working, but the next link that you'll see is a great step-by-step guide, and it's how to move your money. And it's created by This Is What We Did, which is a terrific organization similar to ours, and really working on moving money and climate literacy. And they also have cohort groups to support folks in the process. And I'll talk to you more about the cohort groups in a minute. Terrific. Lori's just put up the link to the document. I'm going to click on that. And hopefully we can share that screen. It's not happening. Yeah. So if folks want to click on that link, or if Lori, you can click on the link and share your screen, I'd appreciate it. So now going to the green alternatives in Sacramento, we've identified 9 banks and credit unions thus far. A few have specific policies. Most just have verbally confirmed that they are fossil free. What's really important, excellent. Thank you, Lori. So what's really important, and you can see here, so Lori can take it to the link. So here is the box that has the banks that report that they do not invest in fossil fuels. You'll see that some have 1 star. Those are the ones that have policies. And that you'll see that there are others with 2 stars. Those are the ones that told us that they don't invest, but they don't have a policy. We're hoping to fill this box up with a few more. We have emails and phone calls out to other banks. It's hard information to find, so we'll keep at it. I do want you to note that just if you look up the bank's mission statement and they're sustainable does not equal fossil free. So be very careful about that. It's a lot of greenwashing. And a primo greenwasher here in Sacramento is Bank of the West. You probably saw their ads. And so Bank of the West is in fact a subsidiary of a very large bank that funds fossil fuels. So Lori, why don't you scroll down and you'll see the box now for credit unions that are fossil free. We have, and again, we have credit unions, and then we have credit cards. So you can always see on the back of your credit card, if your credit card is REI or some other credit card, if you look on the back of the credit card, you will find that it probably has the issuer. So if it has Chase or any of the big 4, you want to be able to change your credit card. And so we have a list of credit card options here. And then at the bottom, you'll see that there's links to a bunch of all different kinds of resources. And our goal here was really not to overwhelm people with information, but just sort of pick the best resources that we could find. Now, finally, just to wrap it up really fast, as I mentioned, this is how we did it, is a great group, and they in fact have cohorts where you have a group of people and a facilitator who are all trying to switch their checking or their credit card and really sort of want a support group, if you like. And so Pat told me that happy to announce that this is what we did, has a new Move Your Money cohort group that's meeting for the first session of 4 sessions this Wednesday. So the timing is terrific. This Wednesday, 2/22, from 5 to 6:30. I'll put that in the chat. And then it'll be meeting March 1st, March 8th, and March 15th. And some of our members, Ray and Pat among them, are facilitators for some of these groups. And so it's just a great way to be able to do this together. We do have some members, Linda Hayward being one of them, who have already made the switch. And so hopefully at some point we can feature folks like Linda who can sort of talk about how they did it. And while a little daunting, we hope that this fact sheet will help. We have an email in the fact sheet that we would, if you have questions or you have suggestions, please email us and we will get back to you. So with that, we will answer questions after the meeting, but with that, let me turn it over to Goalie, and I will put in the chat the cohort information. Thank you.
Thanks, Ruth.
Yeah, thank you, Ruth. That's amazing work. That's going to be so helpful, and the whole bank research team. Hi, everybody. Glad to be here with you. I'm just going to talk about what things we are working on between now and 3/21. And I guess the first item is we are having on this coming Saturday at the same Wells Fargo on 400 Capitol Mall. We're having, when they're closed, the bank is closed, we're going to have a videotaping of the Better Bank song. You kind of got a sense of it when you saw the video. We would love to have you guys come and help us. It's this Saturday. It was going to be Sunday, but because of rain, the Saturday is not going to be rainy. 12 to 2, and we're going to go there, and we're going to have a few signs, and basically we're going to videotape ourselves. It's going to start out. Raylyn came up with this scenario, or just it'll be for the musicians sitting there, just kind of playing music together. Better Bank as we start. Then a group of folks come from one side, and then they start to sing along with the chorus, and then another group comes from, just because the chorus says soon all the people will come, take their money, and they will run off to the banks that invest in the sun and wind and so much more. So we're going to make that actually happen visually, and so people will come with their signs, and then by the end we're hoping to have about 15 people, and we're going to use this video both on social media, but also hopefully other bank groups across the country could use the lyrics and maybe do something similar in front of their banks. And we're hoping to make this kind of go just like the song is from a sea shanty that went viral during COVID on TikTok, and then it's on YouTube. So you can look up, it's called Wellerman Family Tree. If you do Wellerman Family Tree YouTube, you'll see how it's really cool. I mean, the original is really cool. And so, but the lyrics, and we're going to share that today. We're going to do the what's it called? Our sing along is going to be that. So you guys get a chance to sing along as long as you mute yourselves, because otherwise things won't work. So that's this Saturday, February 25th from 12 to 2. If you'd like to put your name in the chat, I can give you any details. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a puppetry art build. And if I may share my screen, I'll just show you this. Let's see, we're going to. Where my screen? Okay, here we go. So it's a workshop. One of the ways we thought of trying to get other groups to join us on 3/21 was offering this workshop, giant puppet workshop, which we got inspired by when we went to the Third Act art build in Richmond, thanks to Anna and everybody else who coordinated it. So the person who's going to be leading it is on this evening, and his name is, sorry, I get nervous, Glenn Bartlett. And he is a puppeteer and a scenic artist. And we thought, why just share this information just with Third Act? Why not invite some of the other groups? So we, Diana's husband has offered graciously his workspace, which is really close to downtown. The address is on 2614 Acoma Street. If anybody's interested in helping us, that would be awesome. you have to let me know because we have limited number of people that can be there, and we're trying to get 4 other groups, 3 to 4 persons per team. And hopefully when they make the puppets, they'll want to also join us on 321. And so we're excited. If you'd like to help, we're offering a lunch, and there's just a few items that you could donate. I have that on here. Let's see. It's an agenda. Just a few things I'll show you right here. If you can see, vegetables, fruits, but not necessary. Then the next event, the next thing we're doing for getting ready for 321 is we worked on, I think we can stop sharing here.
I'm not seeing the stuff you're sharing.
Oh, you're not seeing the stuff I'm sharing?
No.
Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can. I will. Screen
Wait,
share.
this is Raylene. Can you share them about the size of the puppet so they don't think it's a small hand puppet?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Desktop share. Here we go. Let's see if it's this one. Okay. So if you can imagine, can everybody see it now?
Yeah.
So this puppet is, I would say, just the head is huge. I would say it's the size of a big desk. And so we're going to be, and these are simple puppets. I mean, not simple, but a lot easier than some of the other kinds where it takes days. This is with cardboard and a little bit of crumpled newspaper. And so these will be big, and the puppets with the hands, and you saw some of the movements that we did with the songs. We're hoping to have the puppets move along with that. All right, and so sorry you guys didn't see that. And then the next thing is the bannering. We've made some very large and visible banners. I think you saw the yellow ones. I think on in the montage that you saw, we have multiple one of those, and we're going to be bannering on 3 Wednesdays in March. That's March 1st. Let's see if I can show you that one. That's the date here. March 1st. March 8th and March 15th, and we're thinking of doing it right around 5 o'clock for an hour. And we've checked. We're going to do one over Highway 50 at 59th. We're going to do one at Sutterville, Highway 99, and one on I-5. And because it's during rush hour, hopefully the cars will be slow. And basically the signs say, whatever bank funds climate chaos, and it has a big sign on the bottom that says divest. And so we're going to need help filling in these teams. If you're interested, it's just really an hour, and you don't have to do all 3 days. You can just pick one day for an hour, and it should be fun. We'll be together. And then the next thing we're doing, I know that Lori and Luke are working a lot on outreach, but we're also working on, we're making like an outreach toolkit. And some of the ideas we had just today on how are we going to reach out to the folks. One is Marianne thought of having tabling at Safeways, where we have like a quarter sheet of the flyer for the event to pass those out. So if you're interested, just if you could put your name in the chat and say interested in tabling. We're also going to be making, Carol's going to be working on a flyer for 321. And then with that, with the flyer, we plan on using it in multiple ways. As we mentioned, there are some downed trees right on Capitol Park. And it's a very smooth trunk. And we were thinking that because it's eventually going to be removed, it shouldn't be a problem with weed pasting and people walk every day around the thing, and so they'll see this between now and 321. And then we have other ideas about putting up the event also on Nextdoor, making a Facebook event, SAC 365, putting that in there. And then we're going to have Carol is going to make up ready-made social media posts that people can just take and use with our, and put it into there. And then there's also faith-based group letter that we're Lori and all are working on, so that we can reach out to the faith community. And I think that's about all. I don't want to take too much time. Let me just make sure. Yeah, but we're encouraging all our team members and also any of you guys to help us with one of these events, whatever sounds interesting to you, but also reaching out with just an email. We'll have that set up. Hopefully that'll be on the Third Act Sacramento webpage, website, that will actually have a letter that you could just send out, just change as you like, but send it out to a bunch of your friends and say, hey, come, this is really important. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Goalie. Thank you, Ruth. These two women have been doing a lot of work with their teams. They're really going to make a big difference in our March 21st event. And I want to just thank you so much for that. But meanwhile, we're still working on our senior to senior program. It's really important, and it's particularly should be appealing to all of you who usually work on political campaigns. So everybody that worked on Get Out the Vote last fall, you just need to pitch in and help our senior to senior people register seniors in high school to vote in the area. We lost one race by 350 votes. If we would have signed up 1,000 more high school kids to vote, we might have won that race. So, Linda, Marianne, what's going on with senior to senior? I think Marianne was here.
Hi, I'm here. This is Linda. So I
Okay.
don't know if Marianne's, oh, you hear Marianne?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you go.
I was just
I'm gonna-
mute.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna mute.
Okay. So emails have gone out to all of the high schools, principals in Sacramento City Unified School District. So decided that it would be best to focus on one school district and use the former schools that we've gone to as kind of, incentives for these new principals to want to jump on the bandwagon. And I sent that out on Friday, and just today I've already received a response from a new school, Sacramento New Technology High School. So there's 13 high schools in Sacramento City Unified. I think that I want to stick with that many, because we don't have so many members yet who can go into the classroom. So tonight, I really like to encourage anyone who's in this meeting or who knows anyone who would like to speak to seniors in high school. It's in their government classes, and it's very easy. You as a new person, you would be with someone who's experienced. Like, we'll try our best. We are already trained, the ones who've done this before, and we can train you in the simple task of helping the seniors fill out the form, and then we take it down to the Sacramento County Registrar of Voters, turn them in. And there's been published reports that Gen Z, they're called, is the current high school age students going up into their early 20s, and they have actually perhaps turned some elections because they came out in unprecedented numbers in the fall midterm. So that is very promising. And anyone who would like to help us, we have about 6, 7, kind of steady members to do this. And some of you are here at this meeting. So, but we could use more, because if all 13 high schools in Sacramento City want to have people going to them, we can't do that with just 7 people, because there's multiple government classes at each school. So I would like to encourage you. It's fun, and it's something, this is your grandchildren's age of student, many of you. And so, you know, you would be influencing their generation to create a better world. So we'd really like you to sign up for that, and just let me know, email me. I'll put my email in the chat box right now. And I think that's it.
Well, thank you, Marianne. It's a really important work, and a lot of fun to engage with young people. And I think it's a real opportunity. So be sure and contact Marianne and volunteer for this important work. Next on our agenda, we have Lynn Nittler. And Lynn has been working on dirty bank divestment in Davis for many years. In fact, I spent a fun couple of hours in front of a bank with her last summer. She's a really good worker, a really good organizer. And so Lynn, what do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple of messages that I wanted to relay, and that you can reach me about them. One is that I work with Fossil Free California. It's an organization with members all over the state. So you can find it at, just crunch that together, fossilfreeca.org. And we introduced a bill last year that was defeated thanks to your now sheriff, but he's now out of the legislature. So we've reintroduced that bill, and this time it's SB 252, and it'll be working its way through the legislature. So be watching for that. I'll alert you as it comes up when we're to the point of needing phone calls in on it. But it's a divestment bill for CalPERS and CalSTRS, our 2 big pension plans, to get them out of fossil fuels. They're something like 11 billion between them. It's no small thing. And speaking of CalSTRS, a few of you have come to speak at CalSTRS meetings. You don't have to be a retired teacher, although that really is a bonus if you are a retired teacher. But the next one coming up is March 2nd at 9 a.m. And there's public input in the first half hour of the meeting. It starts at 9 o'clock, and you just sign in, and you can have usually 3 minutes. Sometimes they cut us to 2. So I often have 2 versions, a short and a long version prepared. And you can address issues about why they're invested so heavily in fossil fuels, and are there not better things to be invested in besides fossil fuels? Because they're leaning deeper into fossil fuels, actually. We're not getting anywhere. We've been at this for 6-7 years. So if you're interested in that, I just put into the chat my email or phone number, and either one is great to reach me. And the other thing is, your actions are just so fantastic and colorful and fun. We're doing a different tact in Davis because we're a small community, and it works a lot differently in a small community. Like our banks, Chase and Wells Fargo and B of A, are all lined up in the same block right downtown. So we're doing 3 different actions where we'll be downtown 3 different times, but they escalate upwards until the big one. And the big one, here's my thinking, we'll see if it works, is I actually planned in our Central Park, which has a lovely little stage, calling in some of our electeds and letting them say a few words about how we started divesting and cleaning our act up 10 years ago. And let them each brag about what we've done to cut our carbon footprints. And that leads us into, and off we go marching downtown to get out of those 3 banks. And I think it sounds like, why am I wasting time in letting those dignitaries talk? But people don't know that, for example, our YOLO Housing Authority took every single low-income housing unit and made them energy efficient. So they're all cleaned up. So I want that information out more than all people realize. And it feeds the fire of, so what are we doing with these dirty banks? So I'm thinking that connection will work. And I already have an article up on our Cool Davis website, which lots of people read. And then I can add further articles that way. And I'm working through the faith community, which I already have an Interfaith Alliance for Climate Justice in place. So they're used to hearing from us. And then I'm doing other kinds of outreach besides, like we have a couple of, we have village homes and we have a senior citizen area. So we'll see if it all gels and comes together. It's happening kind of fast, but I'm hopeful that it will. And I'm resurrecting the Raging Grannies. We've been out of sync for, haven't been singing for 2 years. So we'll see if we can get our voices going again and get our some climate songs. I'm kind of playing with the words to make them specific and see if we can sing our way to these as we go downtown together.
Well, that's great.
And we're making tons of signs. We have a sign making party, let's see, Wednesday out at the Unitarian Church.
So
when? I want to do yours. I'll see if I have time to do both. I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah, bring the grannies to our March 21st event, because we do a lot of singing. I think they'd like it.
Yeah, but we'll be doing it the same day. So I don't know if we can be in 2 places at once. That's the problem, you see.
Well, we'll catch you another time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for that, Lynn. And before we wrap up tonight, Goalie's going to lead us in singing the Better Bank song. I believe the words are in the chat. Is that right?
I'm going to put it in right now.
Okay. And do we need to do anything special here to sing together?
Everyone is going to have to mute. So you're going to hear us starting I'll share my screen so the lyrics will be right here. And
so this is going to be kind of like singing in the shower.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
You won't hear everybody else. And because it's really not because, I would love to hear everybody sing, but it's just because of the timing and how it would be delayed and we would not sound good. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Okay. I'm putting in the lyrics in the chat as well, if you want to go to that link. And then I'm going to, let's see, Better Bank song lyrics. Okay, and now I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Can everybody see the? Okay, I've got my husband Doug here. He's got a nice loud voice. No, I don't. So everybody muted. Okay, and it's and you'll see there's a chorus between each verse. And you guys can sing along the whole thing or just the chorus. Okay. So here we go. Doug, ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, ready, go.
There once was a breed of bankers four who lent out trillions to big oil. Chase B of A, City, Wells Fargo, they let our planet burn. Soon all the people will come, take their money and they will run off to the banks and invest in the sun and wind and so much more. Climate change can wreck your day. Fires and floods are not okay. It's not enough to sit and pray. Divest from Wells Fargo. Soon all the people will come, take their money and they will run off to the banks and invest in the sun and wind and so much more. Come, good people, hear what I say. Investing in oil is not the way. We'll let this spec know here today. Our future matters more. Soon all the people will come, take their money and they will run off to the banks and invest in the sun and wind and so much more. Chase, Wells Fargo, B of A, Citibank, hear what we say. Oil investments just won't pay. We need a greener way. Soon all the people will come, take their money and they will run off to banks and invest in the sun and wind and so much more. Climate change is such a curse, we've left the youth with an empty purse. The heating trend we must reverse before it gets much worse. Huh! Soon all the people will come, take their money and they will run off to the banks and invest in the sun and wind and so much more. People got wise and took a pledge, divest from Chase on our next page. A climate cliff, we're on the verge of bringing down big oil. Huh! Soon all the people will come, take their money and they will run off to the banks and invest in the sun and wind and so much more. Climate change, it must be fought, our loyalty will not be bought, for Earth will take our money out and buy some ales and stouts. Hey, soon all the people will come, take their money and they will run off to the banks and invest in the sun and wind and so much more. One more time. Soon all the people will come, take their money and they will run off to the banks and invest in the sun and wind and so much more. Give yourselves a hand. And let's everybody take the pledge to divest. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Goalie and Doug.
We couldn't hear any of you. Oh, wait, you were muted.
Well, that's probably, might be a good thing. Okay, well, this is the end of our regular meeting. Thanks for coming tonight. An important announcement. Our next meeting in March will be 1 week earlier than normal. It's going to take place on March 13th because our regular meeting day is the day before 3/21/23. Okay, and everybody's going to be busy getting ready to go to that demonstration. So that's the end of the regular meeting.